International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Coming up on International Trade Focus.
We shall examine the level of collaboration and facilitation that institutions such as the Ghana Standards Authority is ready to offer local pharmaceutical industries in the quest to manufacture or package COVID-19 vaccine locally. And later, President Akufo-Addo commissions Toyota Vehicle Assembly Plant in Ghana.
Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to another edition of International Trade Focus. Now, as countries all over the world make efforts to reduce drastically the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and totally open up their economies, mass vaccination for all citizens has become the ultimate target. However, the unavailability of vaccines has become a global challenge, creating a situation where rich and powerful nations have their supplies first, leaving the less endowed countries to be at the mercy of vaccine manufacturers. Now, here in Ghana, according to Bloomberg, Ghana's pharmaceutical industry is in talks with AstraZeneca to produce or package a COVID-19 vaccine locally. On today's edition of International Trade Focus, we want to find out what does this mean for a country like Ghana, and does Ghana's pharmaceutical industry have what it takes to produce a vaccine locally? What are some of the standards that need to be met? My name is Anas Pio, and this is International Trade Focus. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL Good Energy, ADB, Truly, Agric and more, Public Elegance and Pediatric Valley Resort. Stay tuned.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, Truly Agric and more.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquets and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It is exclusively packaged for you at Pediatric Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Pediatric Valley Resort. The acts of serenity, skillfully served.
After several months of battling the coronavirus pandemic, there was a glimmer of hope in the third quarter of 2020 when big pharmaceutical companies announced the discovery of a vaccine for the coronavirus. It was good news because the pandemic did not only cause the death of over 3.9 million people globally, but it also disrupted global trade and economies of countries. International Monetary Fund (IMF) estimated that the global economy shrank by 4.4% in 2020, worse than in the Great Depression of 1930. Worse, there was a general atmosphere of uncertainty and prolonged lockdown measures that caused businesses and livelihoods to be affected severely. During the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in Ghana, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo challenged the domestic pharmaceutical industry and drug makers to collaborate with institutional leaders to find a local measure to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Soon, the country found out that the local pharmaceutical industry could produce the essentials for managing the pandemic. Here is the president of the Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association Ghana, Mr. Kofi Nsiapuku, last year in an interview with international trade figures on the capacity of local drug manufacturers in managing the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have the expertise to produce. The government has now given us the go-ahead to bring materials to produce these products. So for the first-line treatment, we don't have any problem at all. There's an additional antiretroviral that we have not been producing, which we are trying to source the material from India. So with the preventive and supportive treatment, we don't have any problem in terms of manufacturing these products. So we are ready to provide the prevention and supportive treatment for anybody who contracts COVID-19 in Ghana.
Building from the success of the pandemic, according to Bloomberg.com, Ghana's pharmaceutical industry is in talks with AstraZeneca about acquiring the rights to manufacture the UK company's vaccine locally. This could boost supplies and speed up the inoculation program in the country. Coincidentally, the 7 wealthiest G7 nations in Cornwall, UK, agreed to donate 1 billion doses of vaccine in addition, as well as increase and coordinate a global manufacturing capacity on all continents. With all these developments happening on the international stage regarding vaccines and vaccine manufacturing, we deemed it fit to talk about the prospects of local vaccine manufacturing in Ghana. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed several weaknesses in the world and the inequalities of the global economy. It's this inequality that is evident in the rollout of the global vaccination program. Let's consider the following. Africa has 14% of the world's population, but has less than 0.01% of the world's vaccinated population. On the contrary, when it comes to vaccination rate, North America has administered about 71 doses per every 100 people and 63% in Europe. Asia has vaccinated 37 per every 100 people. Africa has the lowest vaccination rate in the world, averaging 3.5 in every 100 people. The situation Eventually, the argument of Africa having its vaccine production capability made sense. Executive Secretary of the Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association of Ghana, Lucia Adai, in an interview with Bloomberg, said that the solution would be to set up a local production plant to meet the specific needs of African countries. However, she added that for the local deal to go through, the group would need an agreement from UK's AstraZeneca and a commitment from the Ghanaian government to purchase the vaccines before. She wouldn't be the only one making such calls. Dr. John Nkengasong of the African CDC stated that African countries must invest in the development of their capacity to create the necessary instruments, including the manufacturing of vaccines, diagnostics, and medicines essential to guarantee the health of their population. These sentiments have been expressed in different news reports across the continent. In August 2020, Morocco and China National Biotech Company Group Limited, CNBG, signed 2 cooperation agreements on COVID-19 vaccine trials to allow Morocco produce a vaccine. In November 2020, the federal government announced plans to set up a vaccine production company in Nigeria to boost local COVID-19 vaccine production. In November 2020, the Russian Direct Investment Fund, RDIF, signed a deal with Moroccan pharmaceutical manufacturer Galenica to produce a Russian COVID-19 vaccine locally. In January 2021, Ghana has also joined the race to have a local vaccine production center to help in the immunization against coronavirus. The Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association of Ghana has been engaging with AstraZeneca mainly on the intellectual property rights to be able to manufacture the vaccines locally. Minister of Health Honorable Kweku Agyeman-Manu has announced that a committee has been set up to support the local manufacturing of the vaccine. Presently, there are only 4 countries in Africa producing vaccines. They are Senegal, Egypt, South Africa, and Ethiopia. Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, Egypt, Morocco, South Africa, Tunisia, Ethiopia, and Ghana have been profiled for their potential for vaccine manufacturing. Ghana has successfully positioned itself in the sub-region as a manufacturer of quality pharmaceutical products. There are instances when pharmaceutical manufacturers have been approached by other countries to manufacture life-saving medicines for them. Here is Mr. Nsiopoku again.
Even US FDA has sent a message to me that they want to see whether I can produce hydroxychloroquine for them. But the factory that I have does not meet US FDA standards. So you need a standard before you can get business opportunities like this.
For Ghana to have businesses like vaccine production, it has to hold high standards and be held to these higher standards. However, there is the potential for local production of COVID-19 vaccine. The COVID-19 pandemic is definitely not over. Therefore, vaccine security is crucial. If not for anything, Africa needs to reach about 70% vaccination coverage to ensure herd immunity.
The importance of meeting the required standards in the manufacturing of any product, including vaccines, cannot be overemphasized. The Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, says several industries in the country meet both international and local standards. He is therefore optimistic that any vaccine produced in the country will meet the required standards. Our Index segment comes up next. A warm welcome back. You're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment. I have with me here the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu. Now we're going to take a look at vaccine production in the country. Now, as nations continue to reduce drastically the effects of COVID-19, the need to vaccinate the population has become a necessity. And unfortunately, at the moment, vaccines have been highly unavailable. So we want to find out, as a country, do we have any plans of producing our own vaccine? According to Bloomberg, we know that Ghana's pharmaceutical sector contacted AstraZeneca to find out if they can produce the vaccines locally. Professor Alex Dodu is here with us. We want to take a look at the state of Ghana's pharmaceutical industry in general. Do we have what it takes to produce the COVID-19 vaccine or any other vaccine at all in this country? Prof, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
But first of all, let us say a big congratulations on your appointment or winning the election as
President for the African Organization for Standardization.
African Organization for Standardization. Now, tell us, how did it come about?
I mean, basically, the African Organization for Standardization is, put it this way, the Standards Organization for Africa, or the International Standards Organization Africa version. Established in Accra during the reign of General Ike Acheampong, and it's an intergovernmental body, government to government. And a year before the sitting president retires, there is a call for elections, nominations, but it's not from the individual, but from the country. So as Director General, I had to apply to MOTI, Ministry of Trade and Industry, who endorsed my nomination, and then it was all forwarded to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who forwarded it through the African Union to the African Standards Organization. And from there, shall we say that all the member states knew who was standing. And at the Congress, they all agreed that they would endorse me. And I must say, I feel very happy. I feel very proud about that. But importantly, I see the opportunities that it's bringing to our country. because we are now hosting the Secretariat for the African Continental Free Trade Area, which means that when you start trading, for the goods we are trading, there is no tariff, no duty. So the only barrier to shopping is going to be standards or requirements. So as the president of the African Organization for Standardization, my job will be to work with nation states, heads of states, ministers of trade or commerce, as they'll be called, to see how we can remove those barriers without going through long processes. And essentially, it's helping one business to trade both from here to there or from there to here. And I'm committed because within Africa, trading among nations is only about 14%. If we can make that 30%, we'll lift maybe 100 million people out of poverty. So really, it's doable, it's challenging, but we must have an ambitious target. And to the extent that it's about trade and business and making people wealthy and rich and happy, I think it's a good thing. So I accept the challenge and I ask for your prayers.
What role are you going to play as the head of this body?
My role is going to be first and foremost, what are those standards that have to be harmonized so that we don't speak with different language? Already together, we've all agreed on the automotive codes, because vehicles are important for Africa. Now we have an African automotive code. Fortunately, most of what they have meets the requirements of the Ghana standards for vehicles as well. In some cases, ours are even higher. So we meet the standard. And what we want to ensure is that when someone assembles a vehicle in Ghana, he can sell across Africa, because the requirements that are needed across African countries we have. In some countries, we need to elevate the standards. But across board, our aim is that made in African goods should be bought with confidence by African countries. So it's a lot of removing what I call duplication and artificial barriers. We are also promoting a made in Africa logo, so that when you see a product, you know it's made in Africa, made in Ghana, made in Africa, and you can buy it. So really it's about how do we speed up trading? How do we give a mark? In fact, the Ghana Standards Authority will very soon start issuing the EcoMark Africa label, which means that this is ecologically friendly. It ticks all the boxes for sustainable development, and it's made in Africa. We want to believe that with that, even countries outside Africa will patronize our goods, because the quality is good, they are consistent, they are from renewable sources, and they are being promoted in ways which lead to sustainable development for the continent and for the world.
Now, Bob, taking a look at standards and the need to, be self-sufficient, produce products within the country. Now, I always say that if the COVID-19 has taught us anything, we always hear import substitution, Ghana Beyond Aid, the need to be self-sufficient and all. But if the COVID-19 has taught us anything, taking a look at this vaccine situation, for instance, is the need to produce locally, to be self-sufficient. But a lot of Ghanaians feel that products coming outside of the country is quote-unquote inferior. And you are the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority. You ensure that everything that goes into the market meets the right requirements. So, like, off the top of your head, what are some of the products that we produce within the country that you are confident that can compete with anything, any product, or the same product that is produced in, say, Europe?
Okay, I'll start with some of the products that the Food and Drugs Authority probably not have been regulating. Pharmaceuticals. We know that across the sub-region, made in Ghana medicines sell. Take our fruit juices, take our water, bottled water, hot commodities across the continent, though people don't sell it much because it's heavy to carry. Now, when you come to electrical cables, take it from me. Now, if you want to buy made in Ghana electrical products, there's such a long delay to get it because the demand is huge. Because people have realized that they sell, and we are exporting. PVC pipes speak to the companies. Across West Africa, across Africa, they are hot cake. Cement, they are hot cake. Beverages, beers, soft drinks. So really, we have competitive advantage. And indeed, how many Ghanaians will buy a foreign beer or Milo or other things when there's a Ghana one? The only complaint had been over the period that made in Ghana goods are expensive. And they can become expensive if we as Standards Authority or all other agencies involved in inspecting goods into the country do not ensure that those coming in are at least of the same quality as made in Ghana. Our aluminium manufacturers, the pans and the bowls, there have been complaints that some are coming in, they are cheating us. We are working on that to ensure that stops. But we are keen. If you want to bring your products here, Ghana is an open market. It's allowed. Import and export is good for business. But the quality should be at least comparable to made in Ghana. And what we are offering the country is that made in Ghana should be as good as made anywhere in the world. And in fact, in the areas where our spotlight has been on, you can take a made in Ghana product anywhere and stand with boldness and confidence, knowing that it's a world leader and it competes favorably. The worry is that the extent, the range is not wide enough, and then quite often our ability to produce as much as needed is hampered. So I mentioned the cables. I'm praying that our cable companies will produce so much that imports become something nobody does. Because now people will call you and say, oh, I need this cable, this brand is short, I've paid. They said, wait for 6 weeks. And that is quite frustrating. And we have to correct that. So if you are looking for the areas, beverages, whether alcoholic or non-alcoholic, chocolate products, Golden Tree products, Nestle and Unilever products. Now you come to the indigenous companies, the Kasapreco products. You come to the cables, electrical products, Tropical Cable, Nexans, Sigma Cable, and there are 4 of them, Leroy. And they are doing good. And we are regulating them and they are selling. Our next step is that how do you make sure that these companies are not employing 5,000 but 50,000 because they are supplying Nigeria, they are supplying Sierra Leone. I mean, I was in Liberia and I told Liberians, why are you importing bottled water from other countries like the Middle East? Ghana can supply you all the water. I don't want to promote any brand, but name the brand. Yobi. I mean, now if you want to import water into Ghana, you are competing with global brands who have proven that they are doing good. But now, how do we now export it? Why should we not be exporting it? What are the barriers? And how do we, that is myself as president of the African Organization for Standardization, how do I open such markets? How do I ensure that the capacity for cement production will lead to exports across the sub-region? What can I do to make sure that we make business big for Ghanaian businesses? Because the whole aim is that we want to create jobs. Jobs are created by the private sector. The private sector will create jobs when their business is big and they have a lot of business. And that is what we are aiming for, and that is what we are going to do.
Right, Prof. So I know that the Ghana Standards Authority, together with the Food and Drugs Authority, you play this role simultaneously, ensuring that products meet the required standards. But you talked a lot about the capacity and some bottlenecks, and I believe you have some idea of some of these challenges that our local manufacturers face, and maybe some advice on how we can do better.
The first thing we are trying to do is, together with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, the Food and Drugs Authority, and the Ghana Enterprise Agency, formerly known as NBSSI. What we are doing is that we are dealing with the same clients who all need to be held by all of us. For starters, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority has created an export hub at the head office at opposite City House. In that export hub, you have the Ghana Standards Authority, the Food and Drugs Authority, the Plant Protection and PPRSD, Regulatory Service Department of the Ministry of Agri for pests and other things. So when you go there, you get a one-stop shop. Now, what we, the heads of the agencies, have said is this: most of our produce will be agro-produce. Our market is small; they have to be exported. So the head of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Dr. Sabia Asari, the head of the Food and Drugs Authority, Mrs. Delis Dakun, the head of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, former NBSSI, Mrs. Kosi, and myself, Alex Dodo. What we said is that let us come together. Let us literally hold hands, or hold the hands of all the companies and help them one by one at their point of need. For some, the challenge is packaging. For some, they want to export malt to Canada. Malt in Canada, if the vitamin D content is too high, it's considered a drug. So we need to tell you that if it has to go to Canada, reduce the vitamin D. For some, it's Kasapreco, or it's an alcoholic bitters. It goes to a lot of countries, but it cannot go to a country where alcohol is forbidden, Sudan and the rest. So we need to give them these differences. Secondly, we need to let them know the issues. For instance, if you are sending a product like peanuts, granules to the European Union, they allow aflatoxin up to 4 parts per million. If it's America, they can allow up to 10. So even though your requirements or your products cannot meet EU requirements, it will meet US requirements. If it's a business you want to do and you are meeting the US requirements very well and you can sell there, the question is, why not?
If you just joined us, you're watching International Trade Figures. We're taking a look at the production of a COVID-19 vaccine locally with the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu. The conversation continues after this break. Don't go away.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquets and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It is exclusively packaged for you at Peduasi Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all. The swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Peduasi Valley Resort. The acts of serenity, skillfully served.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
A warm welcome back. You're watching International Trade Figures, and this is our in-depth segment. Professor Alex Dodu is the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority and our guest for today. The conversation continues on our in-depth segment. Right, so Prof, based on everything that you said so far, we have industries in this country that have the capacity to compete with industries that are outside the country. By saying this, I mean we have products, goods and services here that are top-notch.
You was the power of Ghana, but yes, I think especially in relation to the African Continental Free Trade Area, and also to improve Ghanaian industries business, you need to look at where we have the strengths. Let's take our steel manufacturers. I don't like mentioning names, but B5 and the like. They are world class. They can supply the whole continent. Our aluminum factories, the same. Our beverage factories, like I said, the same. Now we have Atlantic Life Sciences or Pharmanova. You go to their new factory on the Aflao Road, between Central University and brilliant. So you can see that big firms are here. They are producing, and we need to now project them and push them into the sub-region. The focus for all of us is how do you make sure that most of these businesses are supplying, because you see, when we speak in the abstracts, we don't make people to realize that it's about jobs. It's about better livelihoods for Ghanaians. So let's take the pharmaceutical company. even if it's just paracetamol and it's producing enough to supply Africa, if it's employing only 200 people, as the market goes up, it needs to employ 1,000 people. These 1,000 people will make money that they will spend on water, on food, on drinks, creating a cycle where money is going around and where people are moving. In the past, the market was small. We all looked at Ghana. Now, thanks to the African Continental Free Trade Area, taxes on several products going to Africa has been removed. So now, previously, let's say your product is 20 cedis, but you pay another tax of 10 cedis in Nigeria. So your product is 30 cedis to the Nigerian. Now, when they buy it, it goes to them at 20 cedis. So if you get one coming from outside Africa, you should be cheaper. And if you are cheaper and your quality is comparable, you should make it. So price, the AFCFTA treaties will help us. Quality, we are harmonizing. So we should sell. And in a country like Nigeria, our leaders, our presidents, over the years have been signing what we call a mutual recognition agreement between the Ghana Standards Authority and the Standards Organization of Nigeria. I have reactivated it, and so I called my colleague, DG of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Farouk Salim, and I said, DG, we have a mutual recognition agreement. What are the products in Nigeria that you want to sell in Ghana that will not cause trouble among Ghanaian businessmen? And what products are we selling that you also need that will not cause problem to your people? Let's start trading on them. And we've identified a few. Nigerians want to buy Casapreco, days that we would help these companies to send them and also buy from them what we need without any extra requirements. Once you meet Ghanaian requirements, it's good for Nigeria and vice versa. That way, we are improving the trade in good quality, tariff-free products, which means that the prices are low, but the quality is high.
Prof, so speaking about the African Continental Free Trade, trading officially started in January. So as far as you're concerned, how would you assess the level of progress so far, and what areas do you think need some more attention?
The progress has been slow. I think to the best of my knowledge, only 2 companies have been actively, others may be in it, but actively will be Gandu Cosmetics and Casapreco. They were the first anyway. I think because of COVID, expectedly there was some disruption. The slow progress, or rather the challenges I see, is for industry, that is Ghanaian manufacturers, whatever you are manufacturing, to begin to say that I want to trade. Government is doing a lot of training. In fact, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority has created an export hub just to help you. Go there, say that I have this product. I want to sell in Namibia, in Lesotho, in Uganda, in Kenya. Then we'll tell you the rules. Because you see, if you don't know the rules, you lose. The rules are simple. Ghana Revenue Authority, Custom Division, will give you something called Certificate of Origin, saying that your product is from Ghana, so that you can sell in another country. Why are we doing that? We don't want you to import from China and package it as made in Ghana and sell to Nigeria. Then, because the whole aim of the free trade area is to improve industrialization and business, to create jobs and wealth for Africa. So if you're importing, you are taking away our business. So you get a certificate of origin, and that shows you that the product should contain X% of Ghanaian raw materials or packaging or finishing. Then you call it made in Ghana. With that certificate of origin, the tax is removed. However, when the tax is removed, the standard is not removed. They'll say, okay, good, it can come in. Good, there'll be no tax. But is the standard acceptable? And that is where Standards Authority comes in. In fact, if it's for medicine, they'll say, do you have a certificate of free sale from the Food and Drugs Authority? It's not expensive, but you need it. It's a technical requirement. Then they will say, okay, does it meet the standard? Then the GSA will also come in. But all this can be done simultaneously and very, very quickly. So industry, please, there's a new way of doing business. There's a new way of selling outside our shores of Ghana. That new way is called African Continental Free Trade Area. It allows you to sell, if you like a free zones area, where now you don't pay taxes in the countries in Africa that you are selling to. That means your charges are low. Hopefully, that means that people will buy more and your profits will go up. But the fact that tariffs, the fact that duties are removed, does not mean that standards have been removed. The technical requirements will still be there because they are for protection of the public, the environment, for health and for safety. And that is why they still have to be there.
Now, Prof, still on the African Continental Free Trade, I mean, a survey resurfaced a couple of months ago talking about the fact that industries in the country, a lot of them do not know about this continental free trade thing, and those who even know are not so sure about the information. So do you think that we've probably not sensitized the industries enough or businesses in the country enough? And do you also feel there's a lack of some confidence among local businesses that is contributing to the very low participation in the continental free trade?
I would say from the promotion of the AFCFTA, government has been superb. His Excellency the President has been leading it. Honorable Alan Kyerematen has been leading it. All ministers, Honorable Sheila Ekobotwe, even though she's in Foreign Affairs, because this is intergovernmental and Foreign Affairs and Trade work together, Secretariat has been superb. The National Export Development Strategy has been promoted by GEPA routinely. So why are things slow? There are several reasons. One is new. But two, companies are now getting their monies together. Because to import and make money, you need big capital. Three, traditionally, Ghanaians have wait and see. Let me see who goes first. Let me see whether it succeeds. So for me, we have not been slow. Indeed, even this discussion is part of the process. But as companies begin to see those who have traded under the AFCFTA and have made profits, I spoke to a businessman. I said, where do you buy your big beans? He said, oh, mostly from South Africa. I said, is it Heinz? He said, yes. I said, well, is it accepted by the Food and Drugs Authority of Ghana? He said, yes. I said, do you know that now if you bring it from South Africa and it's part of the COVID, of the AFCFTA traded goods, you can bring it without paying duty in Ghana? I said, is that true? So think of it as two ways. So if you are buying from South Africa and the good is, because there's a list of goods, year one, full tax waiver, some it's slow before year 5, everything is no tax. If it's underneath it, you get a tax waiver. So when you get these goods here, and they have given you your certificate of origin, Customs Ghana will say, it will be treated as coming from Kumasi rather than coming from Cape Town. So this is where we have to look, both selling, but importantly buying. So this goods goes to Guta, this goes to TAG. Buy from within Africa, sell from within Africa, sell to Africa. Then you improve this intercontinental trading. Because the more you buy from them, the more they also buy from us, the more we make business. And then we move the continent forward.
The state of Ghana's pharmaceutical industry. The industries in the country, what level of collaboration do you think we need to see from the side of government and then from the side of industries or businesses in the country too? In order for us to boost our local manufacturing sector, what level of commitment would we need to see from government and then from the local manufacturers themselves?
So what should industry do? First and foremost, industry should believe the president when he says that we are rapidly industrializing. Because through Honorable Alan Kyerematen, Minister for Trade and Industry, we have repeatedly said that government's agenda is rapid industrialization of the Ghanaian economy. Industry has to believe it. Industry has to own it. And industry has to make it happen with the support of Ghana. Once industry believes it, what should they do? Speak to the AGI, speak to the Chamber of Commerce. Now, as Standards Authority, daily basis, I'm calling AGI. Who needs help? What can we do? Because when government says rapid, it's all hands on deck. It's not one agency. I think the frustration I face is that people want to make it up themselves when there's help coming from government to help you. Abansi Beji and create jobs. Then you are dealing. You are dealing, darling. It's quite frustrating. But if companies come on board, if we show them the rules between nation states, then their trading will go up. Their production will go up. Their taxes that they pay will increase. So that is the approach. Now we are in what I call a transition where industry is now beginning to see that government is a facilitator, not a barrier. Government wants us to make more money through more business, through more production. Let's talk to government. Because even if you have a new product and you want to sell it, ask us that, hey, what do I have to do? So that is where we are. And I believe the key players are the Association of Ghana Industries and the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. These two can speak the language of businessmen and help them. For small-scale enterprises, for medium-scale enterprises, for micro-scale enterprises, you will see that government launched 2 weeks ago the Ghana Enterprises Agency. Formerly, it was called the National Board for Small-Scale Industry, NBSSI. Now it's the Ghana Enterprises Agency. Why? Now it's for all enterprises, NBSSI, anybody, small, micro, even if you are two of you producing, go and see Enterprise Ghana. They are giving loans as well, generous loans. And in most districts, they have the Business Advisory Center, which we have now linked with what we call the Business Resource Center, which is a one-stop shop. You get your TIN number, you get your national ID card, you get your FDA number, your GSA registration, your community registration, and then you can move forward. You know, I mean, Ghanaians, I'm blessed to have worked in different jurisdictions, seen countries. You have to believe what we are doing, because what we are saying is that industry only moves if government provides the infrastructure. The business research centers, there are 39 of them. 30 more will come this year, making 69 in the districts. Their job is that, why do you bother to come to GSA if you can go to a BRC? GSA has signed MOUs with them to do our work for us for a small extra fee and then take the rest. So that if you can't even speak English, but you have a company and you want FDA registration or GSA registration, go there. They will call us and say, Prof, this cocoa seller wants the cocoa registered. You don't speak the big English because you may not know the difference between registration, certification, accreditation. And I agree. That is not what you should worry your head about. You should worry your head about producing the best products in hygienic conditions and selling to the world. We will then come and help you know what you need to know and do what you have to do so that you can sell. And as you sell, we help you to not prepare to expand your market. So if you notice, the Food and Drugs Authority started what they call progressive licensing. However low you are, we want you on the scale. The government gives you a mark that, yeah, we know you are there. The African Organization for Standardization is doing the same thing. They are calling it progressive certification, so that we can bring all our people into the formal scheme to help their businesses to grow. Because it is a micro business which becomes small and medium and later becomes large. Look at other companies we know and love. Facebook started in someone's garage. Now it has a turnover bigger than our national economy. You know, so we have to let them grow. And if the mindset of the average Ghanaian is that government wants this business to grow, I will talk to government to help me to grow. Believe you me, we'll go far. Because it's reached a time whereby government's commitment has been clear and unequivocal. Government support has been available. Industry has known that government has come in the time of need. So now, how is industry gearing up to use opportunities brought about to transform?
Now, there's no such thing as a short conversation with Professor Alex Dodo, and taking into consideration the fact that everything that we discussed is important. In our subsequent episode, we shall bring you the continuation of this insightful interview that we had with the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority. But that does it for this week's In-Depth segment. There's more after this break. Don't go away.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has launched a Toyota and Suzuki vehicle assembly plant at the Free Zones Enclave in Tema. This manufacturing plant has been in the making since 2020 when Toyota acquired license for vehicle assembly in Ghana. The president, speaking at the event, noted that the factory comes at an opportune time to boost the ongoing activities of government to propel the nation's economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. The president charged various state institutions to develop the required raw materials to support the automotive industry.
It is a good day for Mother Ghana, a day which represents the deepening of the already strong bilateral relations that exist between Ghana and Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, government attaches great importance to the development of the automobile industry in Ghana. Toyota Tsusho's presence in Ghana has been facilitated by government's bold move to develop the Ghana Automotive Development Policy under the auspices of the Ministry of Trade and Industry with generous fiscal incentives. And I applaud the hard-working, experienced Minister, Alan Kyerematen, in bringing the policy to fruition. By assembling and ultimately producing cars in Ghana, new and highly skilled jobs are being created. The use of foreign exchange to import second-hand vehicles will be reduced. And at the same time, the exports of made-in-Ghana cars to other African markets will earn our nation much-needed foreign exchange. The vision is to make Ghana a fully integrated and competitive industrial hub for the automotive industry in West Africa, and we are very much on course. This facility has already offered some 334 employment opportunities to young Ghanaian graduates from our tertiary institutions across the country, notably from the University of Ghana, the University of Cape Coast, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the George Grant University of Mines and Technology, and some other technical and vocational institutions. This investment has come at a very opportune time in our nation's development, as it serves as a major boost to ongoing efforts by government to hasten our nation's economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. The confidence in the Ghanaian economy, expressed by a global organization like Toyota, will indeed provide additional impetus to the realization of our post-COVID economic recovery program, titled the 100 billion CD Ghana Cares or Batampa program, which has been designed to revitalize and transform the Ghanaian economy in the new COVID-19 free era. One of the components of this program is for government, in collaboration with participating financial institutions, to develop an asset-based vehicle financing scheme for public sector workers to purchase locally assembled vehicles. This scheme will make acquisition of new vehicles more affordable. Government will continue to create the enabling environment to boost the profitability of the emerging automotive sector in Ghana. The Ministry of Trade and Industry is working with other state institutions, such as the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation, GIADEC, and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation, GISDEC, to develop locally the required raw material value chains to feed the manufacturing sector of the automobile industry. Government has also acquired a building complex at the South Industrial Area in Accra to be developed as the Ghana Automotive Development Center, which will, amongst others, serve as a one-stop support destination for the implementation of the auto policy and be a hub for the development of advanced skills for the industry.
38 out of the 55 states in the African Union have ratified the agreement establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area and agreed on the legal obligation binding their participation. Secretary General of the AFCFTA, Mr. Wamkele Mene, said this in the Made in Ghana Diaspora Investment Summit held in Accra, Ghana. In his estimation, this was the most significant achievement in Africa post-colonialism. Mr. Wamkele Mene added that negotiations for the first phase of the AFCFTA will be completed this year.
Today, I'm happy to report to you that 38 countries out of 55 have ratified the agreement establishing the AFCFTA, thereby symbolizing that they legally accept the obligations to open their markets, to reduce their barriers to trade, reduce barriers to investment, and to adhere to the single set of rules for trade and investment that we have agreed to in the form of the AFCFTA. This has been an unprecedented achievement for the African continent, certainly since the end of colonialism. By providing a large and attractive market with reduced cross-border barriers, investors can now take advantage of a larger revenue projects on a continental rather than a national scale. The AFCFTA therefore offers an opportunity and an apt response to the reluctance of investors to invest in small, fragmented, and uncompetitive national markets. You may be aware that we are now at the last stages of negotiating phase 1 of the AFCFTA, which is being negotiated as we speak today here in Ghana, Accra. Phase 2 will involve agreements, protocol on investment, competition policy, intellectual property rights, digital trade, women and young people in trade.
Again, speaking on the theme of the occasion, the Secretary General noted that the African diaspora has a role to play in the development of their respective countries. Hence, the AFCFTA provides a platform for the African diaspora to invest in their country of origin.
The agreement establishing the AFCFTA, whose implementation commenced on the 1st of January 2021, provides a platform where the African diaspora can play an important role in the economic development of their countries of origin and the continent as a whole. There is now increased and diversified opportunities to promote trade and foreign direct investment, create business, and spur on entrepreneurship, particularly amongst small, medium enterprises, thereby transferring new knowledge and skills within the AFCFTA market.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mr. Yofi Grant, has said that even though diaspora remittances into Ghana have reached almost $3 billion in 2020, there was no structure in place to harness it into national development. He said this at the Made in Ghana Diaspora Investment Summit held in Accra to discuss the ways of involving the diaspora in the development of African economies. The summit was also to create an avenue to encourage partnership between locals and the diaspora investors as well as people of African descent into areas such as trade and investment. Mr. Yofi Grant announced that government was drafting a Homeland Act which will define the protocols of engaging the diaspora in this regard.
In 2016, diaspora remittances flows to the sub-Saharan Africa alone was approximately 33 billion. In Ghana, remittances have helped decrease or reduce poverty by at least 5% over the past 5 to 10 years. And Ghana is the second largest remittance recipient in Africa after Nigeria, with remittances increasing by 5% to reach 3.6 billion in 2020, as according to the World Bank Migration and Development Report of 2021. Now, this is just the formal remittances from Ghanaians last year. There is a sound belief that there is more, and perhaps that number could top $5 billion a year. Unfortunately, there has been no structured template or format through which this opportunity is harnessed into national development, although it happens in an indirect way. And so for us, it's important to actually create the pathways for this to happen. And I'm happy to say that government is working on the Homeland Act, which will define the protocols of engagement with the diaspora. But as well, the Office of the Diaspora, the Presidency, is putting together the diaspora policy, which will then enumerate the ways in which that engagement will be acted in a formal way. But that's not the only way that we can benefit from the diaspora. Many countries have actually issued diaspora bonds to also find a formal way of attracting diaspora funding into the economies. And the list is many. India, in 1991, 1998, and 2000, issued diaspora bonds. Israel has done so and has raised almost $38 billion since 1951 from its diaspora. Bangladesh, Pakistan, Philippines, and Sri Lanka have their diaspora as a major resource for national development. And I believe that Ghana can do the same. Indeed, in Africa, quite a number of countries have issued diaspora bonds. Ethiopia, Kenya, Nigeria, and tapping the diaspora bonds is a long-term strategy and a multi-year process, and is dependent, amongst other things, political and socio-economic factors such as economic performance and perceptions about political stability.
Addressing the gathering on behalf of the President, Chief of Staff Madame Frema Osei-Opare noted that the initiative was a right step to ensure Ghana's economic development.
The Beyond the Return has been launched, and it is a 10-year plan to encourage sustained dialogue with diaspora whilst attracting investments. This campaign is expected to usher in a decade of African renaissance, even in the face of global pandemic. It is on this basis, ladies and gentlemen, that I consider the theme for this summit, the new normal, leveraging diaspora investments to build back better. Very apt, taking into account where our nation seeks to be in the global economy. As such, government of Ghana is leveraging several support measures, including the establishment of the Diaspora Investment Desk at the GIPC to successfully implement and achieve the 10-year initiative. This will be greatly hinged on the varied ongoing business regulatory reforms, including digitization of government processes, improved access to information, among others, that are being implemented to improve the investment climate in the country. This summit, therefore, being organized by GIPC, aligns with the 10-year initiative geared towards bringing the needed investments for recovery and development in this country. And as I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to commend GIPC and its key partners for engaging the diaspora community proactively as government proceeds to build a more resilient economy following the COVID-19 pandemic. By partnering the diaspora community, which is enshrined in the SDG 17, Ghana will be on the path of realizing many of the targets set under the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, truly agric and more.
And it's a wrap for today's edition of International Trade Figures. Join us same time next week for some more on international trade-related activities here in Ghana and beyond. Now, next week, we'll bring you the second part of the very insightful conversation that we had with the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu. International Trade Figures is brought to you by Gold Good Energy, ADB, truly agric and more, Public Elegance and Pediatric Valley Resort. My name is Anna Spio. Join us same time next week.